You're looking at some of the red wines produced at White Springs Winery, and here is Derek Wilbur, the winemaker. And Derek, we were talking about the 2009 vintage. There are no good reds in 2009, right?
No, that's not true.
No, you're supposed to laugh at that.
Well, that's what everyone says that's what winemakers are always going to say, but that's not the case at all. And a lot of that has to do with what we do in the vineyard in particular. I mean, I think I've been in business since 1984, and probably the best example is that a good year years ago was way up here, and a bad year was way down here. And I think through better viticulture and what we do in the vineyards and the wineries, we've really, really narrowed that down. And 2009 was a good example of that, is that from a viticultural standpoint, we made decisions very, very early to pull more leaves on both sides of our trellis, to vigorously thin our crops down to less than 3 tons of the acre. And the result was that we produced very serviceable, really remarkably fruity wines for 2009. And I think that 20 years ago, that wouldn't have been the case. I always use the analogy when I first got into business, we did a lot of shrugging. We shrugged our shoulders a lot. And said, well, I don't know what to do, and I think that's different now. I think there's a much more activist group of people here that are aware of what's appropriate intervention and what isn't appropriate intervention. And that's both a function of experience and also a function of the number of people that are making wine here now. When I first got into business, there were only 19 wineries in the Finger Lakes other than the big boys, and now there's, 75 or more? And that just brought a lot more intellectual capital to play. And so I think what you find is we're able to ride out those ups and downs from vintage to vintage.